This is Tasmania, Australia's wild southern island. And in this video, I will be surviving within this rocky wilderness, while also exploring the island's most famous landmarks. My goal for this video is simple. I'll be working with a conservation reserve to find and tag 4 of Tasmania's most endangered species, while also trying to survive its dangerous wildlife and ancient folklore. But with that being said, let's get started. My 100 days begins here, on Wedge Island, a remote rocky island on the edge of Tasmania's Pacific coast. Alright, we are back in Australia. First things first, I wanted to secure some food, but my options were limited. Oh, hello. Can I eat you? What are you doing? What is this? You're playing dead. I know this trick. You're playing dead. And you didn't drop any food. Okay. Oh. Hello. Can I eat you? Yeah, nothing was dropping food. I did find this small cave, though, where there were turtle eggs. Oh, it's a turtle egg. I really feel like I should not eat this. But I'll keep it for when I run out of hunger. It'd be really mean for me to eat that. Anyways, from here, I decided to get some wood, which I used to craft a wooden pickaxe. I then used that pickaxe to mine some stone. Finally, after crafting stone tools, I was ready to explore the area. Okay, where do I want to go from here? I'm going to need food. I'm going to need to craft a bed. That's actually really important. That's a sailboat. Alright, this is huge. We found a sailboat. I quickly crafted a boat, before then rowing my way towards the sailboat. However, I wasn't the only thing in these waters. Oh. Is that like a shark? Or is that a dolphin? Okay. I'm gonna give the opposite of whatever benefit of the doubt is and say that is a shark. But I'm gonna check. That's a shark. That's a shark. That's a shark. Get me away from that. No, thank you. I towered up onto the sailboat, and then went to loot it. This led me to finding a bed, which has to be my new record for getting a bed in this series. Fedora? Alright, sure. I didn't want anything else from the sailboat, so I decided to head out and explore the nearby sea cliffs. As I did, I saw these seals on the beach. I'm not mean enough to kill and eat you guys, but if it comes down to it, I might have to. I'm just gonna... Oh! It actually made a little turtle. Look at that. Look at him go. Go on, buddy. Be free. Go to the water. The water! Go to the... No. That's the wrong way. You have the survival instincts of, I don't know, a potato. Be free. Be free. Be free. Just be. It's right there. Anyways, since I now had a bed, that meant it was time for me to start looking for the reserve that I'll be getting my assignments at. After all, it's up to the reserve to send me out to find the 4 endangered animals. And all I know is that the reserve is somewhere within the Tasman National Park. So that means I have to be close. However, as I sailed along these giant sea cliffs, the sun finally began to set on my first day in Tasmania. So I pulled over and went to sleep. Alright, good morning, Tasmania. So we have to find Tasman National Park. I think we're close because these are some pretty big cliffs. And it's known for big cliffs. This fedora does not look good on me. It does not look good on me. Okay, we're gonna... I know it gives me armor, but it also looks terrible on me, so I have to pick and choose, okay? I sailed further along the sea cliffs on the morning of day 2, until suddenly, my suspicions were confirmed. I was now within one of Tasmania's most famous national parks. This is Tasman National Park, home to Australia's tallest sea cliffs, and some of the country's most incredible views. In some places, these dolerite cliffs rise up around 300 meters, or almost 1,000 feet. That's around the same height as the Eiffel Tower. Within the park, there are plenty of trails that take you around to its most famous points, like Cape Raoul, or the remarkable cave. Thankfully, Tasman National Park is easily accessible from the nearby capital city of Hobart, making it one of Tasmania's most visited parks, and a rather fitting introduction to this fascinating island. As I continued through the park, I kept an eye out for the reserve. However, I soon spotted something interesting in the distance. But that's when a storm started up. So I rode my way over to the strange cliffside opening. And eventually, I saw that it was a cave. As I entered the cave, I realized that this was no ordinary cave. Oh, I know exactly what this is. Okay, this is huge. Alright, this is something new that's going to be in all of the videos from now on. They're, points of interest. So let's read up on this one. The remarkable cave. Hidden within the cliffs of Tasman National Park, you can find the remarkable cave. This cave is an ancient tunnel that was naturally carved into the sea cliffs over the course of thousands of years. Oddly enough, one of the cave entrances forms the exact shape of Tasmania. I then decided to sleep here for the night. The next morning, I immediately continued my search for the reserve. After all, I wanted to get started on my first animal assignment. So when I saw this bay, I decided to row into it and take a look. But I only found some kayaks and wombats here. I ended up rowing along the tall sea cliffs for the entire day. Yeah, they just kept going. But so did I. And that afternoon, I finally saw some buildings in the distance. So I rode my way towards them. And the next morning, I began to climb up the cliffside. Sure enough, as I reached the top, it looked like I was at a reserve of some sort. So I took a look around. And I soon found the Welcome Center. Alright, this is where I'm meant to be. Oh. Hello.
Hey there. I'm glad you were able to find us. I hope you were able to see some of the sea cliffs nearby. Anyways, welcome to the Moernie Conservation Reserve. Here, we monitor and protect Tasmania's endangered species. But there's one problem with that. Tasmania has a really small population. Only around 500,000 people live here, whereas Sri Lanka is almost exactly the same size as this island, and over 22 million people live there. So basically, we need all the help we can get. That's where you come in. We have 4 endangered species all around the island that we need you to photograph and tag for us. This is super important because all 4 of these species are decreasing in population, so we need to act quickly. Along the way, I'm sure you'll see some of the best sights of the island. And maybe you'll encounter some strange creatures, as we have had some alarming reports about something stalking the wetlands.
What do you mean by that?
Anyways, to get started with your first assignment, head next door to the resident photographer. He'll set you up with your camera. Oh, and before I forget, any photos you take of the animals should be turned in at the lab. That's it, though. I hope you enjoy your time on the island. And please, be careful. The wilderness here is unforgiving.
Okay, I mean, you can't just brush over the creature in the wetlands that you mentioned, but that's fine. Alright. I have to go to the resident photographer. See, this place is nice because they supply me with the camera. Unlike the wild horn. Now it was time to head to the photographer next door and get my camera, as well as the tags for the animals.
Hey there! Come on in. Sorry about the lighting, but then again, it is a dark room.
I like it.
That's right, I am a photography traditionalist. Anyways, before I give you your camera, I meant to also give you your first animal assignment. You'll be heading all the way over to Cradle Mountain, which is right in the middle of the island. There, you'll need to photograph and tag a Tasmanian devil. Don't worry, they're unlikely to give you any trouble. What I would worry about is the cold, because we're right on the tail end of winter here. So expect some very cold temperatures.
It's not good.
Now, with that business sorted, you can collect your camera and the tag for the devil here in the drawer to my left. Oh, I almost forgot. I have a GPS that will guide you to a camp I set up near Cradle Mountain. But I left it in my RV. I'll tell you what, just head over there anyways, since it's on the way. All you have to do is follow the path outside until you reach the end of it. Best of luck to you.
I began my trip down the path outside. Only, as I entered the wilderness again, I realized that I really needed food. I don't know why that's so funny to me. This is dumb. This is really dumb. Are any of you gonna drop food for me? No? Okay. Okay, I just killed a lot of fish for no reason then. That makes me feel great. Okay. I'm gonna need food. This is gonna be an issue. As I only got hungrier, I had no choice but to just follow the path. On the morning of day 5, I tried my luck with collecting food from some other animals. I'm sorry, but I need food. Nope. Food. Nope. I don't want to kill a wombat. Who wants to kill a wombat? But I need food. This is gonna make me feel so bad. This is survival though. I need food. Great, now I'm just left with my feelings of sadness and regret. It wasn't long before I came to a trail marker. Boomer Bay Trail. I decided to follow the trail, which soon led me to a beach. While I was here, I took some wool from these towels before heading back. Oh, you can't do that. Can't do that. Nope. Anyways, the path was now leading me into a forest. And thankfully, it wasn't long before I spotted the RV. Don't worry, I won't try to eat you. Hopefully, this photographer has food in his RV. Oh. Oh! What is that? Hey there. Oh! Die! 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 I immediately towered up, but it was too late. I was already on half a heart. So, I've also learned that yelling die is not an effective strategy to killing things. I decided to carefully bridge over to the RV, where I then tried looting it from above. Please have food. I see a chest. GPS. Okay, this is what I need. Cobwebs, I'm taking those. Keen's curry powder. Can I consume this? I cannot consume this. Oh, it's nasty. You're a nasty little creature, you know that? Okay. I'm not even gonna try. Unfortunately, the RV didn't have any food, so my options were very limited. I began to collect as many blocks as I could, which I then used to bridge over to these trees. Yeah, I used every single block in my inventory to do this, but I really didn't have a choice. I finally reached the treetops right as the night set in. Okay. So here's the plan. I have cobwebs, so I can make string, so I can make a fishing rod. So if I can get to the coast, I can also make bottles of water. So I'll have everything that I need. But of course, that means I have to make it to the coast without losing even half a heart of health. I carefully headed across the treetops, before then chopping my way down this tree. I then slowly bridged to the water. And I made a jump for it. Okay, come on, come on. Ooh. No, it was right there. It was right there. And it's in the water now. Okay. Okay. We got to get out of here. We got to get away from that thing. That terrible, terrible creature of death. I rode over to this inlet and collected some wood. I then crafted a sword, which I used to get string from these cobwebs. This allowed me to craft a fishing rod. As the evening turned to night, I fished, made some water bottles, and finally healed up. Now it was time for me to finally set off into the Tasmanian wilderness. So, with my GPS in hand, I began my trek to Cradle Mountain in search of the Tasmanian Devil. This led me through a dry and barren part of the countryside, and by the afternoon, I was hungry again. I knew that as long as there was a water source, I could fish for food. So I collected some wood, and then towered up. Only, it wasn't water that I found, but rather some distant structures. As I headed towards the buildings, I realized that they were abandoned farmhouses. Only that's when I heard a familiar noise. Nope. Nope. I was so fast with it that time. Is there... Oh, that's a nightmare. I've had nightmares and they look just like this. Oh, don't climb. Don't you dare try and climb. Yeah, this time there were so many of them. Luckily, I was still able to loot the house. Ooh, rotten tomato. Okay, well, this could be useful. Cattail, bramble. Okay, that's kind of useful. Is this gonna make me sick? Oh, I can only throw them. All right. Haha. Oh, actually, I killed one. Okay. By the next morning, I knew what I had to do. Oh, that is so satisfying. I don't want it to spread, but... Is there still more? Yeah? Okay. Your turn. Oh, I enjoy this thoroughly. Any more? Oh, you guys want to turn. No, that just set the house on fire. I did not mean to do that. Oh, yeah, there we go. Alright, are we done? Those are all the ants? That better be all the ants. Because if it's not, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to actually go, oh, there's water. Okay, that's good. I quickly headed over to the pond, where I then did some fishing. This time, I made sure to catch extra fish for the journey ahead. I then followed the GPS for the rest of the day. The next morning, I found this riverway. So I followed it for a bit. And eventually, it led me to another point of interest for my guidebook. Tasmanian tiger statues. Alright, so now when we go to open the book, the next page should be unlocked. And it is. Okay. These statues commemorate the Thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger, which was a unique marsupial that was driven to extinction. The last known thylacine died in 1936 at the zoo in Hobart. Some believe that there are still thylacines somewhere out in the Tasmanian wilderness. So let's see if we can find these statues. I went over to the statues, and I may or may not have taken one, before then continuing along the river towards Cradle Mountain. That afternoon, I came across a farm. So the next morning, I went to take a look inside the farmhouse. Oh. Hello. Can I talk to you? Oh, okay. How are you going? Well, and you? Can't complain, but I do have to ask what you're doing all the way out here. Good question. Yeah, I'm looking for Cradle Mountain. Cradle Mountain, huh? Best ask my wife. She's much better with directions. Alright. Oh. I'm sorry for interrupting your cutting. You can put the knife down. You're just following me with the knife. Alright. Hi. Ever heard you asking about Cradle Mountain? Correct. All you have to do is follow the river outside until you reach Great Lake. Then head west past the walls of Jerusalem, and you'll have the mountain right in front of you. Alright, thank you. Of course, but please be careful around any swampy areas. My husband and I moved here from Molting Lagoon because of the beast. Okay, what beast? Just be careful, please. Alright, yeah, you and the lady up at the reserve. You can't just brush over that stuff. I'm taking your onion. Alright. Do you have anything else that is of use, of value, perhaps? I explored the rest of the house, which led me to finding this. Ah, so this is where one of these is. Alright, so another new thing that I'm doing in these videos is I'm hiding 10 of these guys around the map, and you all get to go in and find them. They each come with their own little postcard. So let's see what this one is. Oh, there you go, that's lovely. Okay, I'm just gonna stick that there for now. And then you can collect it like that. So, try and collect all 10. They're hidden around the map. But this is the location of one of them. I will not reveal any of the others. Because I was at a place with resources, I decided that I want to go ahead and get started on my base, which will be a hot air balloon. So I got right to work on making the basket, which I made out of baskets. And the next morning, I wanted to start adding balloon blocks. I would need a lot of balloons, but luckily, these blocks are craftable with paper. So I headed back to the farmhouse and stole the cutting board. I then used it to shave bark off of wood. Then I used that bark to craft paper. Only this is when I realized that I will need a ton of paper. So I spent the rest of the day crafting it. After placing some balloons the next morning, I wanted to get started on crafting the engine. So I did a lot of strip mining, which led me to finding this huge vein of iron. Yeah, this was super helpful, because now I'll have a lot of extra iron to use as well. With that, I got to smelting, and finally, I crafted and placed the engine that evening. This brings me to day 13, my last day of base work for now. Today, I just collected a lot more wood and placed a lot more balloons. Until finally, it was time to test it out. Alright, it's not really the best weather for flying, but it is time for the moment of truth. I really hope that this thing actually works. Alright, I don't know if that did anything. Oh. Oh, yeah, it did. Wait, how do I go down again? V, okay. Oh, that's so fun. I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, this thing might not look like a hot air balloon yet, but at least it works. After all of that base work, I decided to end the day with some fishing. As the sun rose on day 14, I knew it was time to continue my search for the Tasmanian devil. So I loaded up my engine and left the farm behind. Okay, so she said to look out for the Great Lake and then the walls of Jerusalem. But we are neither in the Midwest nor the Middle East, so I guess we'll see what she means by that. As I followed the farmer's directions, I decided that I wanted to test out my hot air balloon and see just how high it can go. That's crazy. That's wild. Okay, we're gonna have to do this throughout the video. That is so cool. Wow, okay, that looks like a pretty great lake. I mean, great is in size, I'm not being cheeky. As I approached the large lake ahead of me, I saw a small structure. So I began to descend down towards it. And this took a while. I went to explore the red tent the next morning. Only that's when I heard something. Oh? What was that? Haha! It's a platypus. Hello? Hi there. Hi, Mr. Platypus. Yeah? Naturally, I crafted a knife, which I then used to collect some straw. And you all know the routine by now. I used this straw to craft a lead. I then moved my hot air balloon closer to the shore, before crafting shears and dismantling this tent. But that's when I came to a realization. Wait. Wait. I think with Alex's mobs, you can actually put... Wait a minute. Okay. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. You are Perry. That's your name. You have to be Perry. Although I did have a Perry. Was it Thailand that I had a Perry? Well, that's okay. There can be two Perrys. Someone definitely set that up so that I would get a fedora in the beginning. They knew that I would want a platypus. They knew it. That's so funny. I ended up adding a lot of balloons before attempting to add Perry. Alright. Your time to shine, mister. Come on over. Waddle yourself over here and up these stairs. No way you're actually gonna do what I'm asking. No way! That was the easiest one yet. Now I would like you to stop levitating. That would be nice. Can't use your powers like that. Let's just fix this. That didn't. He's just levitating. Alright, that's fine. From there, we continued in the direction of the GPS, crossing an even larger lake that evening. On day 16, as we continued towards Cradle Mountain, I finally spotted snow in the distance. This was accompanied by a large mountain. As we soared towards the mountain, I saw another point of interest marker. So I lowered down, and I soon found out just where I was. Walls of Jerusalem. Okay. Let's take a look at what it says. As one of Tasmania's most popular hiking destinations, the Walls of Jerusalem offer a rural, dramatic look into the island's rocky wilderness. These Dolerite peaks were carved by glaciers thousands of years ago, standing today as an iconic landmark of the Central Highlands. Alright, well, according to the GPS, Cradle Mountain is back behind that wall. As we crossed into the snowy area, I started to worry about the cold. So I placed a lantern to try and keep me warm. But as the sun set over the walls of Jerusalem, I figured that it would be smart to lower down. This also gave me a chance to take a look at the incredible scenery of Tasmania's Central Highlands. Perry and I flew between the walls the next morning, and the scenery just kept getting better. Look at that. That is one of the coolest views. Hold up. We just have to appreciate this. Look at these views. Look at that. That's amazing. That is so cool. Alright, Tasmania. That is so cool. It wasn't long before I could see Cradle Mountain in the distance, and as we got closer to it, I found the photographer's campsite. I took a look inside his tent before completely stripping it of all of its wool. There's a paper here. Goodbye note. It says, "I'm sorry, Matthew. I just can't have you in my life right now. I wish you all the best. Thank you for the rose, but no thank you." And this is from Bindi. Well, Bindi, that is unfortunate to hear. Actually, that's unfortunate for Matthew. That really is unfortunate. Is he the photographer? That's so sad. Okay. Alright, let's go to Cradle Mountain. As the sun set, I made my way towards the mountain. And the next morning, I was properly introduced to it. This is Cradle Mountain, perhaps Tasmania's most iconic landmark. At over 1,500 meters, or around 5,000 feet, this famous peak is one of Tasmania's top tourist sites, with tours offering a chance to kayak along the scenic Dove Lake, here at the base of the mountain. However, people have coexisted with Cradle Mountain for thousands of years, as evidence suggests that Tasmania's Aboriginal nations may have lived here up to 20,000 years ago. But they weren't alone, as here you can also find a lot of the island's native wildlife, like echidnas, wombats, and of course, the Tasmanian devil. So if you find yourself in the Central Highlands of Tasmania, be sure to stop by the island's most iconic mountain. It was now time for me to search for the Tasmanian devil. Only, there was one problem with that. They're nocturnal. So in other words, I had some time to kill. With the stars now visible, I began my search. However, it wasn't long before I started to freeze. So I lit a fire to stay warm. But as the night progressed, I decided to just use some of my wool to craft wool clothing. As I searched for the animal, I made a slow perimeter around Dove Lake, knowing that this would be my best chance of hearing one. Little Tassie devil, come out wherever you are. What noise do you make? I just want to be your friend. And tag you and take a photo of you. Very normal things. These are very normal things. We're basically best friends if you think about it. I'm not even going to try to justify that. Tazzy Devil, where are you? I feel like I should have heard one by now. That timing could not have been better. That was genuinely the best timing. Where are you? That was not planned. That was really funny. Sure enough, this was a Tasmanian devil. I successfully tagged it, and then got my camera out to take a photo. Except I had used up all of my paper on the balloon. So I crafted some new paper, and finally got a photo. Okay, this might be the best photo ever. Oh, they're gonna love that at the reserve. You're being so polite. The next morning, I headed back to Perry, before hopping back on the balloon, and beginning our trip back to the reserve. With the Tasmanian Devil assignment now complete, we had good ways to go before reaching the reserve again. So while we take our long trip home, let's talk about the animal that we just tagged. While we have talked about these guys on the channel before, this time we'll talk a bit more in depth as to why they are endangered. See, Tasmanian devils are the largest carnivorous marsupials in the world, and they get their name from their feisty attitude, along with the fact that they have one of the strongest bites of any mammal. But unfortunately, the Tasmanian devil is facing a historic threat. The devil facial tumor disease is a type of cancer affecting Tasmanian devils with an almost 100% fatality rate. Within just 20 years of its discovery, the Tasmanian devil population dropped around 80%. Today, the animal faces legitimate concerns of extinction. That's why the IUCN has listed the Tasmanian devil as an endangered species with a declining population. However, there is good news. Not only are scientists and researchers working around the clock to try and find a cure for this disease, but recently, the Tasmanian devil was reintroduced to the Australian mainland for the first time in 3,000 years, which not only isolates them from the disease, but it also gives the species a fresh start. The first link in the description will be to a fundraiser hosted by the University of Tasmania, where all of the funds go directly to research for this terrible disease. I arrived back at the reserve on the evening of day 24. Alright, here's the lab. Alright, we'll go in there tomorrow morning and give the photograph. The next morning, I went to take my photo to the lab. What do we have here? The wombats are both sick. Oh, they look happy. Hey guys. Very happy wombats. Alright. Am I going in here? Hello? Are you Mr. Lab? You know I have to. Alright. Oh, this is nice. Okay, so each area has a station for each assignment, it looks like. And the other assignments are up here. Okay. Photos for assignment number 1. Oh, was I supposed to take more than one photo? Well, you're getting one. There you go.
Is this thing on? I hope so.
Oh.
Anyways, if you can hear me, your next assignment will be over at Molting Lagoon. I have a friend over there who will direct you to the next animal, but he needs your help with something first. To get there, just follow the coast north until you reach a swampy area. Good luck.
Yep, okay. On it. Follow the coast north, yep. I headed outside and began my trip up the coast to Molting Lagoon. As I headed north along Tasmania's Pacific shores, I wondered what the next animal assignment would be. Only, I didn't see any wetlands today. However, as I flew further north the next morning, I saw some large mountains come into view. Just past the mountains was a sailboat. And behind that sailboat, it looked like there was a marsh. I flew my hot air balloon down to the coast of the marsh, before heading over to loot the boat. I ended up just taking some furniture. But as I left the sailboat, I saw another point of interest. Alright, is this Molting Lagoon? It has to be. Yep. Alright, let's see what the book says. This large wetland has as much unique wildlife as it does history. You can find many black swans and Tasmanian waterfowl who call these grassy waterways their home. You can also find Aboriginal heritage sites across the lagoon, as Aboriginal nations have been living here for thousands of years. This is also where the farmers that I stopped by earlier, they said that there's a beast here. So I'm not too happy about that. I don't know why this is my meeting point. Oh, that's a shark. That scared me so bad. It's a small one. It's not gonna hurt me. It's not gonna hurt me. Famous last words. As I entered Molting Lagoon, I looked around for the wildlife that the guidebook had mentioned. Oh. Yeah. Here are the black swans. Look at that. Yeah, hi guys. I made my way further through the grassy wetlands as the sun began to set. This led me to finding some barrels that just had a lot of dead fish in them. Anyways, I also saw this sign pointing to a reserve cabin, and I knew that's where I would find this Hudson guy. So, the next morning, I headed in to see him.
Hi there, friend. I'm Hudson.
Oh.
So the reserve sent you to me, huh? Well, I'm afraid I can only help you so much right now. I've been tasked with extermination duty.
Oh.
Apparently there's some sort of creature that's been coming out at night here in the lagoon. People think... Sorry for laughing, but people think it's a bunyip. Well, actually, I'll tell you what. If you could take care of whatever this nocturnal thing is, I can head up to the estate that you'll be meeting me at. We've got a lot of fishing ahead of us.
Fishing?
So, once you're done here, just continue up the east coast until you've reached the very northeast tip of the island. Then head directly southwest, and you'll eventually reach the Brickenden estate. Best of luck to you, and happy hunting.
Okay, so you're just having me do your dirty work, essentially. I have to go and hunt this thing that comes out at night. Thank you for that, thank you. Alright. And then I meet you at the Brickenden estate, okay. As I approached the water again, I crafted a shield and some iron armor. I then realized that I was overheating, so I hopped in the water to cool off, before collecting some leaves to craft leaf armor with. Now, I just had to wait for nightfall so I could hunt this creature. So, to kill time, I did some more fishing. With the sun down and the stars out, it was time for me to begin my hunt. He didn't really say much about it other than the fact that it comes out at night. The farmers seem to be pretty scared of it though, which doesn't really bode well for me. That was a new noise. Wait, did I just hear something? No? Okay. As I searched the wetlands, I kept thinking that I was hearing noises, but I didn't see anything, so I kept looking. Maybe it's more on land. There's definitely noise. Am I going crazy? I don't know if I'm going crazy. I know I heard something. But tonight, I was unsuccessful. So the next day, I did even more fishing. I really didn't want to waste any more days searching for this thing, so I knew that tonight, I had to find it. Anyways, as I spent the afternoon strip mining, the sun eventually did set on Molting Lagoon once more. So I returned to the hunt. Only this time, as I moved through the wetlands, I saw something glowing in the water ahead of me. What's that? A bunyip fang. Oh. That is so scary. Okay, that's it right there. That's it. Alright, hey there. Ooh, hey there. Hey, dude. Oh, he hits hard. Oh, he hits hard. Oh, he hits so hard. I swam away fast after that hit, and as soon as I got to land, I towered up. Ooh, he's splashing. I don't even know what that is. Why are you doing that? Don't. Oh, that is quite the way of traveling. I don't even know what to say about that. Don't tell me you can climb. If you can climb, I'm out of here. What's his range? What is his range? Not good enough. That's his range. I headed back out into the lagoon, knowing that I had just killed my very first bunyip. Within the wetlands and swamps of Australia, there's a creature that has been written about and feared for thousands of years. Originating in mainland Aboriginal folklore, the bunyip is described as a semi-aquatic, tusked beast that poses a threat to anyone unlucky enough to encounter it. Now, while this creature of folklore does originate from the mainland, it is associated with the wetlands of Australia, and Tasmania certainly has its share of those. So, while you walk along the waterways of the land down under, take extra caution, as you never know what's lurking beneath the murky waves. I headed back to my balloon the next morning, now setting my sights on the Brickenden estate that I'm meeting Hudson at. Now the estate is over here, closer to the northeast of the island, and I'm down here. So I'll take Hudson's advice and head up along the east coast until I reach the tip of the island, where I'll then head directly southwest. Anyways, all I saw today were coastlines and beaches, which is why I was happy to see this rocky area the next morning. There were lots of tide pools and water spouts here, so I decided that this would be the perfect place to do some base work. So with that, I got right to collecting wood, before finishing out the day by crafting and placing lots of balloons. I then added a lot more balloons the next morning. And as I added this ladder, it began to rain. I continued north along the coast, and now this thing was looking much closer to a proper hot air balloon. I traveled through the night, and I saw the sunrise the next morning. This allowed me to see even more rocks up ahead, only these weren't normal rocks. They were colorful. So I changed my course slightly, and as I approached them, I found out where I was. This is Tasmania's Bay of Fires, known by the Aboriginal population as Larapuna. Now, funnily enough, the name Bay of Fires doesn't actually come from the fiery color of the rocks, but rather from the British navigator Captain Tobias Furneaux in 1773, who saw multiple fires burning along the bay that were lit by the Aboriginal people living here. Now the rocks themselves get their orange color from a special type of lichen that grows on them, turning this already stunning beach into one of Australia's most famous beaches. Hello, sir. Would you like my trash? Okay, I do not actually support throwing trash on the beach. That is bad. But he looks like he really wants to take it. So, there you go. Oh, you are so welcome. Look at that face. Face of gratitude. Alright. Okay, now, you can stop staring at me. I knew I couldn't stay long, as I have to meet up with Hudson. So after my short-lived visit to the bay, I carried on north along the coast. And finally, that evening, I reached the northeast tip of the island, meaning that now, I could turn southwest and head for Brickenden. This inland journey continued through day 33, and while this day wasn't eventful, it did give me a proper look at Tasmania's incredible countryside. As I continued heading southwest for Brickenden on day 34, I decided to organize my inventory into the baskets surrounding me. However, it wasn't long before I spotted something in the distance. Look at how organized that oh. Well, we do have a big field in front of us. And I'm also organized, so two good things. I landed my balloon next to the fields of lavender. Okay. Of course, because you had to be here. Because you just had to be here. Yeah, I'll take care of you guys in a minute. Bristow Lavender Farm. Alright. Let's look in the guidebook. The Bristow Lavender Estate is the largest lavender farm in the Southern Hemisphere, welcoming guests from around the world to see the lavender during its December and January blooming season. In the off-season, you can visit the cafe and visitor center to try lavender ice cream or lavender oil. Now that sounds pretty good, to be honest with you. I actually really want to try that. That sounds really good. Okay. Hi, can I talk to you? This is nice. How do I turn it off? Off. Off. Okay. I will take one radio, please. And you can have... Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the radio. Alright. As I dealt with the wandering trader, I came to a realization. See, with all of the lavender around me, I could easily dye my hot air balloon. So I decided to collect some lavender right as the sun set. You know, Tasmania has been pretty nice so far. Like, yeah, the ants are annoying, and the weather and temperatures are pretty extreme here. But outside of that, it's been a really nice start to this season, I guess. I don't know, I don't really think of my channel as being done in seasons, but I guess naturally it would be. It honestly doesn't matter, though. This has been one of my favorite locations so far. I continued my journey the next morning, leaving the lavender fields behind me. Now I was properly within the Tasmanian countryside, and it was very scenic. However, my attention shifted that afternoon as I spotted a road ahead. And at the end of that road, there were some buildings. So I headed in that direction, before landing my balloon that evening. As I approached this large house the next morning, I was suddenly introduced to the Brickenden estate. Tucked away within the island's grassy countryside, you can find the Brickenden estate, a place that feels like stepping back into colonial Tasmania, as this is one of the oldest working farms in all of Australia. After being settled in 1824 by architect William Archer, the estate would remain within the hands of the same family for 7 generations, even to this very day. That, along with the still intact historic buildings, has earned Brickenden a spot as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Today, this living farm offers visitors a chance to explore its grounds, stay in its historic cottages, and meet friendly farm animals, all while taking you back to the island's colonial history. Well, hey there. Am I supposed to talk to you? Where is Hudson? Hey there. Welcome to the Brickenden estate. Hello, I am looking for Hudson. Yeah. Well, Hudson actually left his farm chores for you to do. You're joking. But I'll tell you what, while you do them, you can stay in the house if need be. Alright, what are the chores? They aren't too hard. One of them is located in the sheep pen down the dirt road on my right. The other is just down the road behind you. And once I'm done, follow the main road behind you north until you reach Ben Lomond. Hudson is waiting on the river over there. Alright. Farm chores. I decided to go ahead and try out the first chore. So I headed down this dirt road and found the sheep pen. Supposed to, talk to the sheep? Oh, here's the sheep. Hello, sheep. Oh, are you Mr. Sheep Man? Am I meant to talk to you? Are you ready to shear some sheep? You're so excited, Steven. Absolutely. Great. I'll need you to shear 40 sheep, but here's the bad news. The weather is looking rough for the next few days, so you'll only have about 1 minute to shear them before the rain starts. Okay, and what if I fail? Then you'll have to come back tomorrow and try again. Alright, ready to begin? Alright, Steven. Let's do this. Oh. Oh, wait. Where are the shears? I meant to have shears. Oh, there are the shears. Okay, I feel like that should be deducted from the clock, but okay. Come here. Look at me go. I'm crazy with it. I'm crazy. 10 seconds? Okay. Okay, come on. So many sheep right here. Give it to me. Come on. No! I'm like 1 away. No. Oh, no. And it's raining now. Oh. My first attempt was a failure, and the sky opened up to a storm. So I headed back to the house for the night, and I soon found the perfect room. Oh, I want this room. That's a little Tasmanian devil painting. I like that. Alright, good morning, Brickenden. I'm definitely need some more food, and I have a stove back on the hot air balloon. So I want to go and get that stove, and I'm also gonna bring Perry, because I think he'd like to do these farm chores with me. That's nice. Oh, wonder where I am. I headed back to my balloon and started cooking some rice. I also decided to let Perry join me. With my rice now cooked, I went to try out the other chore that was nearby. So I attached Perry to a post and went to see what this chore was. Hi there. Hey friend, I have a chore for you, but it's an odd one. Alright, what is it? We're helping out with this year's Poodlina Festival, and I found the perfect potato in our harvest. There's only one issue. And what is that? I left it in one of the chests inside this barn, and those pesky jack jumper ants have infested the place. No, 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 I'm not, no, not those ants. I'm not dealing with this. Okay, alright, okay, fine. I'll need you to search each chest for the perfect potato. Alright. What does the perfect potato look like, Margaret? What does it look like? I gave it a special tag, so just hover over each potato until you find it. I reckon you'll have 2 minutes to search before the ants realize you're there. So, do you want to give it a go? No, I don't, but I know I have to. I don't want to deal with these ants. Oh, okay. Alright. Perfect potato, come on, come on, come on. If I have to deal with any of those ants, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. Just be perfect. Just give me the potato. It doesn't exist. It's not here. There is no perfect potato. Maybe this is like a metaphor for life. There is no perfect potato. Oh, whoa, whoa, there it is. The perfect potato. And give it to me, and I win. Okay. No. That's one done. And, oh, I got milk. Yay. And I keep the potato, I guess. Okay. Alright. With my first chore now done, I headed back to Perry, and we got ready to shear some sheep. Alright, Perry. Let's do this. Alright, my friend. Let's do it. Perry? No! You know, that's fine. You can cheer. Cheer from the sidelines, Perry. And it's already raining. But it doesn't matter, because I'm going crazy. Okay. That looked like it was enough. Come on, come on. Oh, hi, Perry. Yes, let's go. Alright, that's nice. That's very nice. Sheep egg. Don't ask where this came from. I'm not going to, actually. Wasn't going to. Since I had now completed both of Hudson's chores, I took Perry back to the estate house with me for the night. As the sun rose on day 38, I knew that it was time to meet Hudson over on the river near Ben Lomond. So I headed back to my balloon and followed the road north, just as I was told. Only I was now out of fuel, which made my travels much slower. After traveling through the countryside for most of the day, I ended up spotting a bridge and a signpost that evening. Alright. So we're looking to go to Ben Lomond National Park. And they said that he was on the river, so I guess we'll just follow that river. This city name, I always forget how to pronounce it. Launceston? 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 For any Tasmanians or Australians or Brits, let me know how it's actually pronounced, please. The next morning, I got some water. before then hopping in my boat and continuing down the river. I still had no idea what animal Hudson was going to have me find. But that thought soon left my mind, as I saw another point of interest. Alright, that's the 6th one. There are only 4 more. Okay. Here we go. Within the Ben Lomond National Park, you can find the 2nd highest peak in Tasmania, making the park perfect for skiing and other alpine sports. This area was also the home of the Tasmanian Aboriginal Ben Lomond Nation. As I continued along the river, the scenic countryside was soon replaced with a marsh, and that's when I saw a fishing boat. Okay. Oh, there he is.
Oh, hey. I'm sorry about the chores. I owe them monthly chores for accidentally running over their pet chicken with a lawnmower.
What?
And then cooking him over a campfire.
Huh?
Anyways, I brought you to the best place to find the giant freshwater crayfish. Now, while you look for these nasty little shellfish, watch out, because their claws will snap down on your hand and they won't let go until you've soiled yourself. Speaking from experience.
Oh?
Go on then, search down this river.
Can't just brush over that.
Don't forget to tag it and take pictures of it.
With my animal assignment in mind, I went out to try and find this giant freshwater crayfish. I searched along the bottom of this murky river, only this search didn't last long. Ooh. Is that one right there? Is that really... Oh, that's totally one. This was a super easy find. Okay. Hey there. Oh no. Don't pinch me. Don't pinch me. Is that what you're trying to do? Because I have to tag you. Hey, little guy. Let me just tag you. Come on. No. Oh, your hitbox is so small, isn't it? Oh, haha. I got you. All right, come here. No. Oh. That is a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. That is so much. Okay. After running to land, I got my camera out. And then I slowly approached it. Okay. Come on. I'm a friendly photographer. There we go. This is good. You're so photogenic. Look at you. Your little antennae. I don't know. Okay, any second now, come on. Next time you are uncovered by grass, I'm taking a photo. Okay, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. Okay. I can't give them that. Alright. Fine. The next morning, I knew I had to take another photo. I want to take one of your friends, because you're mean. You're very mean. Okay, there's one down there. This is going to be National Oh, no. National Geographic. Just stay still, please. Just stay still. Oh! I'm drowning. I thought it was coming for me, but it was not. That is... Okay. Look, may I just point out that the entire crayfish is in the frame? So, I think that this is National Geographic level right here. With my photo of the giant freshwater crayfish secured, I got back in my boat and headed back for my balloon. I then set off for the reserve this afternoon. Now, with the giant freshwater crayfish tagged and photographed, it was time for me to fly back and see what my third assignment would be. So, while I take the long journey to the reserve, let's talk about our most recent find. This is the Tasmanian giant freshwater crayfish, the largest freshwater invertebrate in the world. These guys are only found in Tasmania's northern rivers, and while they do have huge pincers that they use to secure their food, injuries against humans are very rare, mostly because these crayfish are so rare. The IUCN lists the giant freshwater crayfish as endangered due to overfishing and the destruction of their homes. Thankfully, catching these crayfish is illegal, and it has been since 1998, but that doesn't mean that these crayfish are safe, as their population has been decreasing. On the bright side, more regulations are being placed on both land clearing and fishing within the areas that these crayfish live. So with hope, this species may still have a future. I arrived back at the reserve around midday on day 45. Upon landing my balloon, I headed straight for the lab. Alright. I have to turn it in over here. Okay. There you go.
Hey again, it's me, Charlotte. I see that Hudson had you doing his farm chores. Either way, you've been doing a great job so far. But this next one is a bit hard to reach. Come find me over at Pudalina. It's along the coast just west of here.
Okay. Alright, Pudalina, they mentioned that at the farm, didn't they? That's what the potato is for. Before heading off to Pudalina, I want to do some base work. So, I used the wool that I had collected from the sheep at Brickenden to craft a ton of balloons. And as I added them that evening, my hot air balloon was finally starting to look good. The next morning, I finished the top of the balloon, and found that I was exactly 1 block short. So I just put this lantern here. Even though the shape of the balloon was done, my work wasn't, as it was now time to start dyeing the balloons. Yeah, I did so much balloon dyeing today. I wasn't really sure of what pattern I wanted, but by sunset, I was pretty happy with it. The next morning, I set off in my new and improved hot air balloon. It was now time to meet Charlotte at Pudalina. So I headed west along the coast, ready for my next animal assignment. After seeing an amazing sunset this evening, I ended up seeing my spawn area the next morning. From here, I continued west along the coast, using whatever wood items I had in order to keep fueling my balloon. Finally, by the afternoon, I saw some structures on a beach below, so I began my descent. Alright, I think this is the place. I guess we will see. Alright, Perry, I'll be right back, hopefully. Yeah, it looks like there's a little, festival set up over there. So I'm assuming that this is the place. Especially since I see a point of interest. Very cool. Oh, there she is. Okay. Hello.
Hey there. Glad to see you made it okay. Hope the trip over wasn't too bad. Now, I wanted you to meet me here because this place will help you understand why I created the Moernie Conservation Reserve in the first place. See, this is Pudalina, a place where the Tasmanian Aborigines used to live. Unfortunately, after the British began to settle here in 1803, they began to remove the Aboriginal population by force. This conflict lasted almost 3 decades, and it was one of Australia's most devastating frontier conflicts. Then, in 1847, some of the remaining Tasmanian Aborigines were moved here to Pudalina, where they were housed in a convict site. Yeah, this place has some painful history. But thankfully, the story doesn't end there. Because about 40 years ago, the Tasmanian Aboriginal community took back Putulina in honor of their history and heritage. See, I'm actually here to help set up a festival that takes place every year here. The Putulina Festival celebrates Tasmania's Aboriginal identity, turning a place with a lot of history into a ceremony of cultural pride. As you can see, I care a lot about preserving this island, especially its nature, and I just can't let another animal disappear like the thylacine. So on that note, let's get you started with your next assignment. For this assignment, you'll be headed to Strathgordon, one of Australia's most remote settlements. Hudson has an old camp there where he's charted out the nearby populations of eastern barred bandicoots. That will be your next animal. To get to Strathgordon, just follow the southern coast until you reach a large bay. Then head north, and you'll find the settlement tucked between some mountains. Good luck out there.
Alright, thank you. Thank you, Charlotte. I really like that they took the area back in a positive way. I like that a lot. Alright, so we'll be off to Strathgordon in a minute here. Let me just get my point of interest. Alright, let's see what the guidebook says. This land has been home to Tasmanian Aborigines for many thousands of years, which is why it is a place of cultural celebration today. The Aboriginal community within Tasmania reclaimed Putulina, formerly Oyster Cove, in 1984, in honor of the history that this land holds. That is really cool. I like that a lot. Well, I hope we can come back here and see the festival going on. What all does it have? We got someone setting up the tent here, I see. Brickenden's perfect potatoes. No. There's only one perfect potato from Brickenden, and I have it right now in my hand. These are all fake. They're all fake. On the morning of day 49, I set off along the southern coast, now heading for the remote settlement of Strathgordon. Now, Strathgordon is over here, where I will find Hudson's camp that has directions to the eastern barred Bandicoot. This means that I have to fly along the southern coast here until I find that bay that Charlotte mentioned. So with that, I headed south. Only I soon remembered that I really needed fuel. So I made a quick stop and chopped some wood before continuing my journey. By the next morning, I was now heading along Tasmania's incredibly scenic southern coast. This travel took me through the next few days, as I had to cross the length of the island. Finally, on the evening of day 53, I found the bay. There were 2 sailboats here, but I didn't have time to search them, as I really wanted to get to Strathgordon. So, just as Charlotte instructed, I headed north from here, towards the distant mountains. By the next morning, I was now flying over the mountains, so I started to look for any settlements below. Of course, this is when I began to freeze, so I quickly lowered down and was able to warm back up. As I continued over this large lake, I saw something white in the distance. Assuming that this had to be Strathgordon, I headed towards it. Only, as I approached it, I saw that it wasn't a town at all. Right, okay. I know where we are. Now, if I remember correctly, these trees are a result of the Gordon Dam being built, which submerged the entire area, leaving behind this, it's referred to as a ghost forest, which I think is a really cool name. But within Gordon Lake, there are completely submerged forests, and these are the ones that were just close enough to the top. And you can see that it's just a forest of dead trees. Really interesting stuff. It's such a unique anomaly here in Tasmania. I decided to stay here for the night. The next morning, I made my way up and over the nearby mountains as my search carried on. Thankfully, I spotted a settlement around midday. But of course, that's when it began to storm. Right as I approached the settlement, I once again started freezing. So I lowered down. Only, as I landed and made my way into the town, I started freezing again. So, yeah, I decided to just sleep through the storm. As the sun rose on the morning of day 56, I knew I had to be in Strathgordon, which meant that Hudson's camp would be nearby. So I headed out to find it. Oh, we have a point of interest. Okay. Strathgordon. Alright, let's see what the guidebook says. There we go. Strathgordon is mostly known for the giant Gordon Dam that lies near the remote settlement. The settlement itself houses 15 residents as of 2016, making it the last piece of civilization before stepping into the true Tasmanian wilderness. That is a bit daunting, isn't it? Don't look at me like that. Stop, you two are both approaching me, I don't like that. Okay. Creepy. I soon found a trail that headed off through the forest. Only that's when I was also reunited with a familiar foe. Oh! Oh! No! No! Yeah. I hate you so much. Oh, I hate you so much. Oh, and I'm out of water, because of course I am. Because of course I have to be. Once again, I had no choice but to slowly bridge my way to the nearest tree line. I then made my way across the treetops in the direction of another lake ahead. Then I finally had to make a jump for it. Okay, go, 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 go. Alright, now. Okay. There's a boat over there. Boat. Oh, this is Hudson's boat. I remember this boat. But he is not on the boat. Oh, we have a tent. As I looked around Hudson's camp, I ended up finding what I was here for. Eastern Barred Bandicoot, okay? Current location hotspot, alright, we got coordinates. The Eastern Barred Bandicoot, I call them bandies, is easy to spot thanks to its burrows. That's all for today. Wow, Thank you, Hudson, with your astute observations. Alright, so this will take us to that point. Alright, well, do you think he would mind if I sleep in his bed? As I decided on where to sleep, I suddenly noticed that the sky was glowing. That's when I realized that I was witnessing the elusive southern lights. The southern lights are harder to spot than their northern counterpart, as these lights are mostly seen in Tasmania, New Zealand, and Antarctica, meaning that there are simply less places to view this spectacle from. As I headed back to my balloon the next morning, I once again heard the ants. So I just made a run for it. I then got the GPS out and began to follow it to the coordinates of the eastern barred Bandicoot hotspot. I passed over many more mountains as the day progressed, and by the evening, the mountains were behind me. By the next morning, I was getting pretty close to the coordinates. I made it to the general area by noon, but that's when I remembered that, just like with the Tasmanian devil, these bandicoots are also nocturnal. So I had some time to kill. However, after flying around for most of the day, I found some burrows right as the sun began to set. So I simply waited nearby. Only, as I went to search for them, one came right up to me. Oh, that's totally one. Oh, wait. Come back? Thank you. Okay. Tag, tag, tag. Alright, tagging is done. Oh. That's when I realized that I didn't have any more paper, and there weren't any trees nearby. So I quickly hopped on my balloon and headed for the nearest forest. Then, I was finally able to craft a piece of paper. So I flew back to the Bandicoots, and headed back out to find one. Oh, Bandicoot. Hello? Is there anything moving over here? Oh, I heard something. Ah, there you are. Okay, whoa, I'm nice, I'm nice. Where'd you go? Alright. No, come here. Perfect. I caught it mid-burrow. They're gonna love that at the reserve. The next morning, I flew my hot air balloon southeast. See, with the Bandicoot now tagged and photographed, it was time to head back to the reserve. This took some time. So, while I fly across this island, let's talk about our nocturnal friend. The eastern barred bandicoot is a small nocturnal marsupial that are found mostly in Tasmania. These rabbit-sized critters are known to dig lots of tiny pits every night in order to find insects to eat. But due to invasive species and livestock farming, the eastern barred bandicoot has faced some population problems. The IUCN lists the Tasmanian population as vulnerable, but the population on mainland Australia was declared extinct in the wild. That is, up until recently, as these bandicoots were just reintroduced to the mainland, making them the first Australian species to have their conservation status changed. So the future is looking bright for these nocturnal marsupials. I arrived back on the evening of day 64. This is when I decided that I wanted to work on the interior of my balloon before heading into the lab. So I did just that, and got started on Perry's room. The next day, I headed down to the beach to collect sand and wood. I then used that sand to make glass panes, which I placed inside Perry's room. Now it was time to start on the next floor, which will be my room. I worked on my room for the entirety of day 66, even though I had no idea what I wanted it to look like. I did add this ladder that led to the very top. Oh, and I also placed a lot of furniture that I've been holding on to. By the end of the day, I didn't love the way that it looked, but I knew I could always improve it later. On the morning of day 67, I made my way to the lab.
I'm really impressed. You're already down to the last assignment that we have for you. So on that note, go meet Matthew, our photographer, at the Painted Cliffs over on Mariah Island. This one is super close. Mariah Island is just offshore northeast of here. Good luck.
Alright, just offshore northeast. That's our heading. With that, I hopped in my balloon and headed straight for Mariah Island. I flew my way northeast along the coast, and that afternoon, I saw a pretty big island. I hoped that this was the right one. So, when I rode towards it the next morning, I was happy to see that it was. Located just off the coast of Tasmania, here in the Tasman Sea, you can find Mariah Island, a tropical mountainous island that used to house convicts in the 19th century. You'll find that to be a common theme here in Tasmania, as the entirety of this state was historically used as a giant prison. But Mariah Island is so much more than just a former convict site, as this island is home to the Painted Cliffs, a stunning natural landmark that is among Tasmania's most famous. This island is also known to house a large population of wombats. In fact, it's just about guaranteed that you'll see one here, within Tasmania's tropical gem. As I walked along the island, the wombat fact proved to be very true. Anyways, I spotted some cliffs in the distance, so assuming that this is where I'd meet Matthew, I headed towards them. Oh, Matthew. Is this where you are?
Hey again, welcome to the Painted Cliffs. Now, as you can see, I have something set up here for you. Since you're in Tasmania, I figured you should try making our regional dish, the Tasmanian scallop pie.
Alright.
The recipe is simple. You need 1 carrot, 1 potato, 1 egg, a can of Keen's curry powder, and last but not least, a scallop. Since you'll be out searching for a handfish, I thought you could also look for scallops. They look similar to clams, but not really. You'll know it when you see it. Anyway, head off the east coast of the island and you'll find my boat waiting for you. Get yourself some diving equipment and come back once you've completed your assignment and collected a scallop.
Okay, so I've also learned that I am finding the handfish. Okay. Not really sure. I don't have any leads on that. I have more leads on the scallop pie. Scallop. I like that. That's funny. Okay. There are carrots there. I have a potato and an egg, so I really just need to get the scallop. Sorry, Matthew. It's just funny the way you say it. Alright, we have a point of interest. Painted Cliffs. Yep, that's what I thought. Let's take a look. The painted cliffs of Maria Island offer a stunning look into the natural effects of erosion. Both groundwater and waves hitting the sandstone have caused the colorful stains and swirls that you can see on the rocks today. Plan your trip accordingly, as the painted cliffs are only accessible during low tides. I headed back to my balloon to get the ingredients that I already had for the scallop pie. After all, Matthew wants me to find a scallop while searching for the elusive handfish here off the coast of the island. So, the next morning, I set off to find Matthew's boat. Luckily for me, it wasn't long before I could see it off in the distance. So, I just rode my way over there. Alright, Matthew. It's a nice boat you got here. Okay. Of course, you have nothing in the mini fridge. We got here. We got the scuba gear, seashells. I feel like I can't eat this, can I? No, I can't. Coastal Wildlife by Matthew Williams. Alright. What you got for me? Documented wildlife off the coast of Maria Island. Whales. You got humpback, southern right. You got some seals, bottlenose dolphins. And then for sharks, you got great whites and mako sharks. Okay. I'm just gonna take a moment of silence. And it even says take caution around any sharks encountered in the area. Yeah, okay. Before diving, I knew that I needed to eat some food. So I did some fishing. And then I knew it was time. Alright. I look so cool. Look at me. Okay. Oh, okay. First off... Wait, can I breathe? Is it working? It is, okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. Alright, this is kind of like a nice area. I don't see any sharks. This is good. Oh. I heard something. Yeah, guys, the ocean freaks me out so bad. So bad. Alright. Those are clams. Is this scallop? This is, okay. So we got the scallop. Very nice. Oh, no. See, this... I don't do well with this, actually. Rainy ocean? That makes me... No. Alright, handfish. Handfish. Alright, I do know these are tiny little guys who look really strange. So that's what I'm going off of here. Unfortunately, I didn't see a handfish today. That meant that on day 70, I had to head back out. This time, I decided to row away from Matthew's boat. But that's when I noticed something beneath the water. Oh wait, there's less coral. What's that? That's a drop off. See, I don't do this kind of stuff. That's not really my thing. Not a fan, actually. Alright, let's play two truths and a lie. The ocean scares me. I hate drop-offs. And I love the ocean. Huh. Which one is a lie? Ooh, you can't do that. No. Can't do that. The funny thing is, I used to love the ocean. I used to want to be a marine biologist, believe it or not. But then one day, I woke up and I'm like, hey, the ocean is really scary. I don't have fun with this. Oh, that's a shark. That's a shark. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, he's a shark. He's the shark. And the shark is coming for me. Gotta go for the boat. Gotta go for the boat. The boat. Get me to the boat. Oh my gosh. As I made it back to Matthew's boat, I realized that I once again forgot paper. Seeing this as an excuse to head to land, I rowed my way back to Maria Island and crafted some paper that afternoon. I then rowed back to the boat right as the sun began to set. You know, I was thinking, I have hunted some terrifying creatures of folklore from all around the world, and I'm really gonna let the ocean scare me? No. And on the first episode of the new season, we can't let this happen. Now, this is a really bad choice I'm about to make, but I'm going to do some night diving. Okay, yeah. Oh, fun. Okay. This is good. This is good. This is good for me. This is good. With a newfound bravery, I rowed my way back out, and then went under. This is so good for me. This is good for me. This is good. This is good. Oh, this is so good for me. Wow. Yeah, I love that noise. This is good. This is good. This is healthy. What is that? Oh, you look nice. You look nice. You look like a friend or something. Wait a minute. This is totally it. Do you have little hands? Yeah, you do. Okay. This is the handfish. This is the handfish. Okay. Night diving was the right idea. Alright, come here, little guy. Alright, got that. Let's take a photo. Come here. Give me a smile. I shouldn't look at this underwater. I'm gonna not do that, actually. Alright. I'm no longer scared of the ocean. That is a lie, but we got the photo, and it is perfect. And it also has a little cameo. Lovely. Well, I did what I needed to do. The next morning, I headed back to Matthew in order to cook this scallop pie. Oh, Matthew, I got the scallop.
Well done. I'm really quite impressed. Now just put all the ingredients together and you've got the scallop pie.
Alright, let's do it. Oh, there it is. Alright, we're using the perfect potato and the sheep egg, which I don't even really know if I want to eat that, but okay. Finally, I crafted and tried out the Tasmanian scallop pie. And that's pretty good. And I'm just gonna finish that. Okay. Nice. Well, thank you, Matthew. I'm gonna head back now. I'll catch you at the reserve, huh? Yeah, he can't wait to see me there. Now it was time for me to head back to my balloon, and then head to the reserve. So, while I do, let's discuss our final animal. This is the handfish, a type of anglerfish that is mostly found in the waters around Tasmania. These guys are no ordinary fish though, as they tend to walk on their hand-like fins rather than swim. Now, there are 14 different types of handfish, and each one has a different level of endangerment. For instance, the spotted handfish is critically endangered, while the smooth handfish was unfortunately declared extinct in 2020. With a decreasing overall population, the handfish is in serious trouble. Now, this is due to a number of reasons, such as pollution, fishing, and residential development. And one thing is certain, if something isn't done soon, the handfish may disappear from Tasmania's waters forever. I made it back to the reserve on day 72. Alright. This is the last one. This is the last assignment. Let's put it in there.
While I would love to congratulate you on completing all 4 assignments, I need you to head over to the Wildlife Monitor building now. It's next door. You have to hurry.
I quickly rushed over to the Wildlife Monitor building, but I was not prepared for what I was about to see.
I can't believe it. A thylacine. There's no doubt in my mind.
Wait, what camera is this?
It's the one up at the Tarkine Rainforest. Hudson is on his way now. Actually, he said he has to get supplies up at Macquarie Harbor, so you should go meet him up there.
Yeah, definitely. Just follow the west coast of the island and you'll see a bay midway through. That's the one. Now hurry.
Oh, so I'm going to meet Hudson to go and get the thylacine? Okay, alright, let's do this. Let's do this. Since I was now going to meet Hudson in a harbor that's halfway up the west coast, I knew I needed to collect some fuel. So I chopped a lot of wood, and then I added one last thing. Alright, in honor of this legendary assignment that we are about to embark on, we've got the Tasmanian tiger. Actually, let's move it so it's like facing onward. We then set off for Macquarie Harbor. This travel took a few days, but the entire time we were flying at full speed, because I was determined to see this thylacine. Finally, on the stormy afternoon of day 80, I saw a lighthouse ahead, so I headed towards it. Alright. That's it. And that's the last point of interest, Macquarie Harbor. Let's see what the guidebook says. This inlet of Tasmania's wild west coast is home to a former penal colony, as well as many old gold mines dating back to the late 19th century. The harbor itself is one of the largest natural harbors in Australia, and just below its dark waves, you can find countless shipwrecks. The next morning, Perry and I headed into the harbor, and it didn't take long for me to spot a town. Alright, this has got to be the town that Hudson is at. So now we just have to find him, and then we'll find the thylacine. Oh, that's his boat right there. Okay. Yeah, he's definitely here. Alright. Let's dock this. We have to be courteous and professional and dock the hot air balloon. Wait, no, I'm gonna run into Hudson's boat. No. Okay. We can do this. Alright, now we gotta turn. Now we're gonna back it up. We're gonna hit the light. Yeah, we're hitting the light. Okay. You know what? This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Consider it docked. Yeah. Perfect. I searched along the waterfront, and I soon found him.
Hey again? Just stopping here to get some supplies. Now, this is a bit awkward, but do you think you could give me a ride up to Tarkine? It's just north of here. Very rainforesty. Yeah, you'll know it when you see it. I'll just follow you now then.
I didn't say yes. But Hudson, I would be honored to give you a ride. You're just gonna follow me. Okay. Before we set off to find the thylacine, I needed to fish. Only Hudson made this difficult. Oh no, Hudson. This is bad, Hudson. Swim, Hudson, swim. I didn't think about that. Hudson, swim, save yourself. Here, get up on land. Why would you do that? You know what? I shouldn't question you. You are the Hudson, after all. Anyways, I decided to stay here for the night. Now that I had Hudson with me, it was time to head north to Tarkine, where we will be finding the secret 5th animal of the episode, the thylacine. But before we set off, I had to get Hudson into my balloon. This was very difficult. No, I didn't say go in the water. Okay, let me see if you're just gonna teleport to me once I fly up. That would be great. It seems as though you have not done that. Hudson? Are you still in the water? Oh, don't go back in the water. Please don't go back in the water. Just follow me. There we go. See? It's not hard. It's not hard. Okay. No, don't spin around. It's not spin time, it's balloon time. Come on in. You love balloon time. Oh, so close. Just come here. Just come here. I flew my balloon to one of the taller buildings before leading him up to the top of it, and then trying to get him on top of the balloon. But he just wouldn't listen to me. So I had to keep going and hope that he would catch up. And sure enough, as I continued north that evening, I found that Hudson had in fact caught up. Hudson, what are you doing in my room? You can't be in here. This is invasive. You can't be in my room. You can sleep on the roof. You're not going to listen to that, are you? Yeah, you're not going to listen to that. Okay. I would just prefer if you weren't standing over me while I slept. Simple things to ask, really. This is a very simple request. I'll sleep over here. Okay, Hudson. I hate that. I hate that so much. Good morning, Hudson. We continued north for most of day 83, keeping an eye out for anything that looked like a rainforest. We then made it to some mountains by the evening. Finally, on the morning of day 84, I saw a river that led to a rainforesty area.
I think this might be the rainforest. There was just a big title that flashed in my eyes and it said, "Welcome to Tarkine Rainforest." The camera we've set up is at the end of this river, just left of the waterfall.
Just as Hudson mentioned, we were now officially in Tarkine. This is the Thylacine Rainforest, the second largest temperate rainforest in the world. This stunning stretch of forestry is incredibly important as it houses more than 60 species of threatened animals. Here you can also find some of the most extensive Aboriginal sites within all of Australia, with the Australian Heritage Council referring to Thylacine as one of the world's greatest archaeological regions. Yet, among the ancient sites, you can also spot many old mines, as Thylacine is very important to Tasmania's early mining days, with about 600 old mines thought to be in the area. Regardless, this unique forest found on Tasmania's west coast is our final stop this episode, giving us one last look into the island's incredible biodiversity. I took both Hudson and Perry with me as we ventured along the river and began our search for the legendary thylacine. We made our way further into the rainforest for the rest of the day. By the next morning, we had found the waterfall that Hudson mentioned. This meant that the camera was just to the left here. And sure enough, I soon found a pathway. I began to run along it, not wanting to waste any more time.
There's no way. That can't be. I never thought I'd get to see one. I knew they weren't extinct. This is something.
There it is.
Quickly, take some pictures so we have proof.
I got you. Don't worry. Ooh, I got it right as it's turning. Okay. Wait, where'd it go? Okay, Hudson. No way that's all that we see of it. Okay. Alright. He did that on purpose. He absolutely did it on purpose. With a glimpse of the island's ghost and a photo to prove it, I knew it was time to head back and let the thylacine exist peacefully. So, on day 83, the three of us made our way back out of the rainforest, meaning that it's now time to discuss this legendary animal. When Europeans first arrived in Tasmania, it was believed that there were around 5,000 thylacines living on the island. They were known for their tiger-like stripes and their ability to open their jaws as wide as 120 degrees, with only snakes matching this trait. However, as European farmers spread across the island, they began to blame their livestock deaths on the thylacine, giving the animal threatening names like the Tasmanian wolf, and of course, the Tasmanian tiger. This led to a bounty being placed on the thylacine in 1888, and just 21 years later, when this bounty was lifted, a total of 2,180 thylacines had been killed. And just 2 decades after that, in the early 1930s, the last wild thylacine was captured and sent to a zoo in Hobart. Only people didn't realize it at the time, but this would be the last living thylacine ever known. This is Benjamin, the last known living thylacine, housed here in Beaumaris Zoo within Hobart. Benjamin would remain here for a couple of years, and in 1936, the thylacine was finally given a protected status. But it was too late, as Benjamin passed away just 2 months later on September 7th, closing a chapter of the animal kingdom. As I headed back to my balloon, I saw some people on the beach ahead.
You did it! This has changed everything! I cannot thank you enough. This is such an incredible discovery.
And thanks for giving me a ride. That was an unreal sight to behold. It's really been an honor, my friend. Best of luck with your future travels.
You'll always be welcome at the Morny Conservation Reserve.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it then. It has been an honor for all three of you. Well, Hudson, I'll give you like half a point. So for all 2.5 of you. It's been very interesting with you. Alright. I wish you all the best of luck. You're not gonna keep following me, right? Oh. With that, I began my final trip back to the reserve, as I want to finish this at Morny. So, as I make my long journey back, let me rate the difficulty of Tasmania. Tasmania gave me some unique challenges, mostly with the fact that I could be freezing one day and overheating another. Oh, and those jackjumper ants are my new sworn enemies. But beyond that, I actually found myself having a nice time here, and not having to worry about survival as much as I normally do. So with that in mind, I will give Tasmania a solid 6 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. As I made it back on the evening of day 96, I realized that I'll only have 2 full days to finish my base before base review on day 99. So I got right to work on finalizing everything the next morning. I started by crafting some furniture, before giving Perry a nice table, and adding some furniture to my own room. Then the next day, I took a few things from around the reserve, before finally finishing my ceiling. Oh, I also added things to my shelves. And then I finished the day by adding this seat to the very top, meaning that it's now time for me to review this base. I woke up on day 99 and took a look around my base, before coming up with a verdict. Let's start with the exterior. Yeah, I really like this hot air balloon design, especially with the magenta coloring. In the future, I would like to try this again, but with a much larger balloon. Either way, this was a great start. Now for the interior. Yeah, this was a bit rough. I just didn't love the color scheme. And there wasn't a ton of space to work with. Finally though, let's discuss the efficiency of this balloon. While it was slow to descend, I honestly really liked the speed that it flew at. Yeah, I was pretty happy with this thing overall. So I'll give this base a pretty decent 7 out of 10. But with that being said, there is still one more day. I woke up on day 100 and flew my balloon up and over the reserve. As I looked at the Tasmanian landscape one last time, I thought about the last 100 days and the Australian island that I had spent them on. See, Tasmania is often overlooked. After all, it sits below the Australian mainland, making it harder to reach and closer to the end of the Earth. But to me, that makes it infinitely more valuable, as this island gets to boast its secluded scenery only to those willing to make the trip down. And for those who do, well, they will see some of the most stunning sea cliffs in the world, along with iconic mountains that poke through the scenic countryside. And of course, an incredible array of wildlife that calls this place home. And they aren't alone in that, because among the residents of the island, both ancient and modern, and the many endemic animals, both present and absent, there is one thing they all have in common. They belong to Tasmania. Alright, Perry, it has been an honor. Yep, jumping joy. I still have my scuba stuff on, what up? Yeah, I'll just take that off. Alright, with all of that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.